had two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you had two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in a room together.
What's up? This is Coco, and you're watching the Woman to Woman Show.
This is Ice-T. I'm coming to you live from the Woman to Woman Show. Church.
What's going on? It's Mark John Jeffries calling out the Woman to Woman Show. Check it out.
Hey, what's up? This Tresh, Naughty by Nature, giving a shout out to the Woman and Women Show all day, man. If it wasn't for the ladies, yo, we couldn't do what we do so well. You heard?
Bam!
Hey, listen, ladies, this is Zaim, and you are watching the Woman's to Woman Show.
Bam! You're tuned into the Woman to Woman Show. Bam!
When you have two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in a room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman.
happy to have you here. We're so happy to have everybody in the living room.
Thank
tonight. So it's been a crazy week on our Facebook page.
Oh my goodness, the Facebook page. And I know I always say, oh my goodness, I gotta stop saying that. I always say
Okay.
that.
That's your whole point phrase.
I know, right? Why did that happen to you?
Because I let mine dry.
Oh, I need to be quiet for a minute.
No, never.
Oh.
Not right now.
Don't
But we had a crazy week on Facebook. It was so much going on. It was like the battle of the sexes. And I want to get into this real quick before we go to our topic and all of that. They were going off because Mimi didn't invite Stevie J to his daughter's graduation.
Did we talk about that? Oh, that was 50 Cent
That was
last
50
week.
Cent. See, this is going on a little bit too much for me. See, I don't know about 50's situation, but I do watch Love and Hip Hop, and I do know that Stevie is really involved with his daughter.
How old is her? Was it preschool?
Preschool. Yeah.
Oh, that's really important.
That is.
It's crazy to know that I think statistically they say that more people show up for a preschool graduation than they do for a high school graduation, which is really crazy. That people go crazy. You know, you got.
That's their first thing. Like,
yeah.
woo.
I don't know for Zaire though. It was we had like 40 people. My whole family. My whole
I know
reunion
how
showed up. If he just moved, we was like, oh my God, he's 23, he's gonna be 23. So you know, back then it wasn't no phones to take pictures and everything. We was just there with cameras, like they couldn't even see anybody. But yeah,
I mean, especially when it's your firstborn. So for her to take that away from him, because she didn't even, and we could say like high school, you can go in and get the information if you really want to know and all of this and all of that, but she knows. She's genuinely happy when she sees her father. So why wouldn't she want that joy for her child to see her father in the audience when she saw him like, Dad, you know,
right?
Oh my God.
But a lot of it too is if you just think about.
But she busy trying to find out if it's his house, if it's his car, if he married. But you won't invite him to your daughter's graduation. Shame on you, Mimi.
But again,
get that off my chest.
You feel bad?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my side of it. Because you know that's some bull bragging out with me.
I know.
So you know she go to daycare.
Yes.
And if it was, you can't put that blame on her. So what, she didn't invite you. If you really wanted to be there, it didn't matter if you got an invite from her or not. That's her. That's your child. You want to show up. You want to do what you need to do. So it's easier to displace blame. And y'all know our whole show is about accountability. And it's not about just women. Even though we talk woman to woman, this is us talking to you as well too. So for the men, as easy as it is for you to displace it and say, she didn't invite me, the same thing goes along with 50 Cent wife. If you have that much vested interest in your child, you know what daycare they go to, you should know the calendar, the schedule, and everything else, and bump what she does. Bump the same way that I say it when it comes down to, she won't let me see my kids. You have the same opportunity to do the same things. And so,
but the only reason why I go so hard at the women and the custodial parent is because you have the power in your hand. It's like, we were talking to somebody upset and, their boss has that power to make something happen or to not make it happen. You have the power as her mother to make a memory and a happy moment for her. Outside of what Stevie,
for her, she did have a happy moment.
No,
she did have a happy moment. But like we always say, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And so to know that her intent was, she's still hurting.
Okay, ladies, listen to me. It takes 2 seconds to text a child's father. So-and-so's graduation is on June. I'm just saying from my point of view as a mother of 3 sons and 2 of them live in the house. One of them lives in the house with his dad. 2 of them don't live in the house with their father. My main concern is my 2 boys, that they get what they need, that they get the support that they need, that they know that their father, I know their father's important to them. So if I can extend an invitation to him, if he don't show up, that's on him. But I know for me, not for you, not for all the other mothers, I'm not saying that you're bitter, but for the bitter mothers, I know that I did what was best for Stephen and Bryce, and that's to extend an invitation for their father. And for all the mothers out here who say these fathers are deadbeats, they didn't do this, they did that. One day you might send an invitation and it might change your child's life. So I hold the men accountable too.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I know, even though my youngest 2, that their dad is involved, but I do send him information.
Yes.
Football season getting ready to start, so he has the whole football calendar. If you don't show up, it's all dependent upon you. And even though I know it's only, again, that you'll never be able to say that I didn't do my part.
Thank you.
But the other side of it too is if it doesn't happen, because it may be a moment that I may not have
time to send it. I'm not
time to
saying
send it, all stuff.
Women who are doing
right.
it intentionally.
Yeah, but in the case, and so again, I'm a healed woman, and so I can heal others.
Yes.
My hurt doesn't extend to him. So me doing all those other kind of things, and just like, no matter what happens at this point, no, you can't take that back, but, yes, it's a big moment, and, she's 4 or 5, however old she is. God willing, she'll have a whole bunch of other graduations, and so hopefully in that process,
they'll get it together.
And the other side,
get it together. Not just her. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about both of them. But I'm saying that being that you're the custodial parent, you have that edge to make sure something goes on for your child. Just let go of everything else and make
the other side to it is that the celebrity side of all of this is that she may have needed just to have this to be a moment that was focused on her daughter, and not for everybody to be looking to see how the two of them were going to interact during the course of this graduation. Because that's the other side of it as well too. That it's always now eyes on you. And
but for her to know that she was going to enrage Stevie she knew that by not inviting him, it was going to bring attention to them, because I know that.
Okay, but he'll live his own video. So.
Yeah, he'll live, but like I said, she stole a moment from her daughter to look at those pictures when she get older. Because I look at pictures, I'm saying for me, I look at pictures now and I say, well, why wasn't my father there? Or why don't my mother have pictures of me at that stage in my life? I want to know what I looked like when I was 8. I want to know that my father was involved, because it affects us. Like you say.
But she may not. And so we look, like I say all the time, we look at things through our lens.
Yes.
And so the lens of it is, like you just said, for me, all the significant moments in my life, my dad may not have been present through every moment in my life, but my dad was there for significant moments that I felt to be significant that I can remember. For the ones that he missed them. And it doesn't lend itself to change anything. It was just that moment in time, and the other moments that go along with it.
The one thing a lot of things that you say to me ring true in my head, because you come from a therapy side, family therapy, is that damaged children become damaged adults, and that's what I want to prevent from these kids. I don't want to think that every man is no good or every man don't show up based on the events that her mother makes happen in her life.
But sometimes you can skate fast. You skateboard. Then you're going kind of fast.
Surfboard. I'm sorry.
Commercial break.
But anyway,
again, it's the thing that we'll look at stuff, and adults, we do it all the time. Is that we look at a moment and we base it on our own experiences. And so to know that she may be a confident girl, to know my mother and my father were going through something at this particular moment, and it may not impact her the way that you think that it may significantly impact her, and it was only because of the impact of your own lens and everybody else's lens where you could look at it that way, or you could take that moment away and not take it. I keep, one of the things that we noticed and that we shared on our Facebook page too, is that Mimi didn't have a favorable relationship with her mother.
Yes.
And she didn't have a favorable relationship with her father. So where she may look at it and say, well, I survived and she'll be okay. That's the other side of it too, is to know that when damaged people have children, that they are looking at things through their lens to be able to say, I lived past it, they'll be okay. So again, hurt people, heal people, heal people, and empower people. Empower people.
Co-parent the proper way, that's all I'm saying.
So it doesn't always work that way, but
anyway, we just need to get it off our chest, because it was a back and forth debate about, parent, what the father should have the kids when the parents are in the house. But we'll get more into that kind of stuff too. But how was your week?
Whew. Yeah. Oh, y'all know the mayor's in the house. The mayor's in the house. So shout out to Northbridge City Studio 58. I'm sorry.
Mayor.
I'm the mayor. We all mayors. We all mayors. We all the mayor. I have my cowbell with me this week. But we're all the mayors. Again, I want to shout out to the transition team that was announced for North. We're going to start moving forward. We're looking forward to July 1. We start to, business starts July 1st. I'm excited about that. Memorial Day weekend was very, very good. And if nothing else, I do have to say the passing of Maya Angelou yesterday. it impacted me. And even though I didn't know her, she was like a grandmother in my head in so many ways. To know her story, I just remember, I know why Kingsburg sings, and to know that story was the first story of somebody being sexually violated that I related to as a kid, and to know if she could do all of that she did, by the time she passed away at 86, I can only pray that I get to live as long and to impact as many people as she does.
Yes.
So
rest
I
in
just
peace.
want to say rest in peace, and you guys, if nothing else, for all the women, if you teach yourself no other poem, if you teach your daughter no other poem, if you teach another little girl no other poem, please teach Phenomenal Woman. When I tell you I'm a phenomenal woman, and yes, that's me, all my curves and everything else, I know I'm phenomenal, and I will rise just because I had the opportunity to be impacted by Maya Angelou. So we'll be back.
Yep, stick around.
I'm
Get your
Ronnie
wine.
Sembe.
I'm Trey Kearney.
Go
Get
get
your
your
wine,
wine.
get your juice, get your crackers, get your stuff, and just come back. We'll be right back.
Woo!
Woo!
Too bad, baby. But I gotta face reality. It's too bad. It's too bad. Too bad, baby. Yeah. But I gotta face reality. Today you had a visitor, or should I say an old friend. But wait a minute, that's not where it is, no. Is there something that you wanna tell me? 'Cause I'm believing what your friends say about your hidden secrecies. And girlfriend, she wasn't disrespectful. In fact, she's 100% sure. And how can I argue with her? Holding on, baby, with eyes like yours. She said it's your child. Yes, it did. And it really messed me up. How could you deny your own flesh and blood? Gotta face reality. There could never be any more of us. One night's hurting me. Yeah, so precious. She said she never wanted to hurt me. And could I understand? She's afraid and alone. She said a real woman wouldn't do this.
Welcome back to the Woman to Woman show. I'm Trey Kearney.
I'm Ronnie Sembe.
And we're just going to talk about a little bit of news this week.
Oh, in the news.
So we're going to start out with T.I. and Tiny. So I know you guys heard about T.I. going at Floyd Mayweather. But they said he had two black eyes, so he came
Who has two black eyes?
T.I.
We Floyd Mayweather though. Like,
But he
what do you
said,
expect?
but like T.I. said, that's all in the ring that
Pacquiao, you got to go to
almost
Fat
said the
Burger.
F-word.
You got to go to, what is it, Fat Burger?
Fat
What is it?
Burger, yeah.
Pacquiao, you got to go to Fat Burger, son. That's the only way you're going to get a fight.
A real one, because in the ring it's all technical, but that's what T.I. was like. In the ring it's something different. So allegedly, they were fighting over Tiny because T.I. thinks that there's something going on. But anyway, she went to his house a few times for a fight party, after fight party. Then she saw him in Vegas. She was posting up, taking pictures and this and that. Listen, as married women, let's talk about this.
Okay.
From the married woman's standpoint, and you know, we probably might not agree, but you never know with us too. You know, we might get 2 thumbs up. For me, it's all about respecting my husband. So if I already know that's a problem,
What's the problem?
that he don't want her around Floyd Mayweather because he feels some kind of way.
He feels some kind of way.
Well, he feel like something. Okay, if your husband felt some kind of way about a man, and it just made him uncomfortable.
Okay.
Why you want to bring drama to your house if I can avoid it? Who is Floyd Mayweather to you?
Right.
Who is he? Like, if it's one thing if it's a family member or somebody you've grown up and it's a friend and you're close to that person, but if it's just somebody that you may necessarily try to be make him jealous, but if it's somebody that has nothing to do with me that's going to disrupt my house,
right?
Why would I want to disrupt my house and make my husband feel disrespected? But anybody, much less somebody don't mean nothing to me.
Okay, because let's rewind this just a little bit. Let's rewind this a little bit because, you know, a little last year, if I wasn't mistaken, they had like a pretty little open little situation going on. You know, Tiny told him whatever. I know my husband do what he do just as long as he come home, right? So, look here.
Wait, who said that?
Tiny said that.
Tiny said that. Right.
But
I never said that.
But look here. Sometimes, you know, the gander, she start to act like a goose sometimes. You know, you leave it alone. And if you start acting like you don't want me and somebody else do, I don't care. But look, everybody has needs. And so, am I going to openly do something to disrespect Mr.? No. But at the same time, if Mr. ain't paying me attention and you ain't valuing what I got going on, and you know I'm not feeling too beautiful, because, you know, I ain't got no disrespect against the sister, but y'all know. So, you know.
But that's her. That's how she feels. She's not feeling beautiful.
Right.
And if you have a problem,
right, so let's not make it feel that way. But no,
you
you
have a problem
can't.
that your husband is not making you feel that way. That's a conversation you need to have with him instead of.
Okay, so maybe he's not listening. So this is a way to listen. And so
you want to get them men fighting?
Now I'm just saying though, I don't want y'all to fight.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't know.
Things ain't handled appropriately.
Just like look, if that's what y'all need to do.
Black eyes.
But I'm just saying, T.I. don't need to do that for free because Floyd be paying like, you know what I'm saying, like get some money up off the deal.
Oh, he don't want to get in the ring with him like he'll come out like
man,
I'll come out like Martin with the big head.
I don't care. Look, you gonna get paid for it. I'm thinking, he done riding around, swung at me, a little fella. How much money are you getting paid for that? But on a serious side, on a serious note,
you have to respect your mate.
On both ends.
On both ends, I'm saying on both ends.
So you can't talk about you want an open relationship. You want to, men. I'm telling you, at some point, she said it was okay, right? But again, it's a contract. So you make amendments to the contract. And we don't know the whole story. There's the other side of it too that you're looking at celebrity news because T.I. kind of a little crazy a little anyway. He had a fight 2 weeks ago with Game too, so he like fighting people.
This ain't the first run-in with.
He just need to calm down. He's been fighting people.
This ain't the first run-in with Floyd, so
he got a little insecurity.
If you had a conversation with your husband about a particular person, just don't throw fuel on the fire. You got, and I'm saying though, I'm saying you got your kid, and then she on Instagram talking to the fans. Did you see the stuff she put on Instagram?
But it's still.
I
said they immature. No matter how much they're immature.
You somebody's mother. Your kids see.
He's somebody's daddy. You can't fight.
Your kids see you on Instagram talking about FUB and you and this that.
She said that on the show.
Listen, they bleed through this is your personal life. We know the shows are scripted. Let's keep that. This show ain't scripted.
No, we have no scripts.
Those shows are edited. You watching us live, so whatever comes out our mouth, we don't have no control over that. But their shows, no, you don't. Their shows are scripted, so your children know that it's scripted because they get the script.
Right.
But when they see you wilding out on Instagram, mommy and daddy, if you can do something to avoid that, stop it. Like, yo, you can diffuse a situation or you could throw fuel on a fire. I'm an adult.
I just think that if nothing else, at some point in time,
mommy, I know something bothers you, so I'm gonna keep picking it. Oh, I know she hates me.
But again, if you're thinking about it, and then know that your husband has had a number of affairs outside your marriage, and everyone is aware of it, and then now that you may have developed a friendship, and so again, this may be, and this is just me and my marriage, and luckily it's healthy and those kind of things. My friendships are my friendships, and my husband respects the fact that I respect him enough that I can have friendships. And if he tells me he's uncomfortable, again, it's the earnest's place for me to make him comfortable in that.
Exactly.
And so if he says to me, Ryan, I'm not comfortable because I don't like the way that he looks at you or anything else, and so I'm gonna ask him why, because I may not see what he sees. And so if he has something that's valid that I can tell him that there's no reason to do that, there's no reason to feel that way, I'm still gonna hope that he trusts the fact that I'm still I respect him enough that we're not going to have that issue. But I can still have my friends, because that's the other side of it too, is that when you become married, all of a sudden now, I'm not supposed to have any friends. A lot of women go through that all of a sudden now your husband doesn't want you to have friends of the opposite sex. And I'm saying that I don't think that I should have to give up all of my friends just based on that. I'm going to be respectful of what you say to me, because it does matter to me. And you're more valuable to me than my friends. But on the same token, I need you to understand that this is a friendship. So if you have an insecurity that's taking place because of that, we need to talk about that. We're not going to talk about me not being able to have my friend. We're going to talk about what's the problem between you and I, that you don't feel secure enough with me to be able to interact with somebody else. And so if you feel that I'm a little loose, so that brings it back to say, what aren't you doing as my mate to make sure that we're secure, that you don't care what I do outside of your presence? Because that was the other conversation too that Jeff and I had before we got married. And ladies, you don't always ask the questions. And one of the things that I asked Jeff before when we were just dating, and I asked him if he was sexually healthy. And so he was like, I ain't got no disease. Because y'all know I'm a cootie phobe. Everybody know Ronnie's a cootie phobe. And I said, no, I'm not talking about that. That's easy. I done ran through the CDC. I know people. I know folk. We done ran through the CDC. We done ran through the health department. So I knew all those things. My question was, outside of my presence, were you strong enough and secure enough in your space that I don't have to worry about if you saw a big butt and titties and all this other kind of stuff? Were you going to be so attracted to that I was going to have to worry about you not being in my presence, that I was going to have to worry, control whatever urges and everything? And so he was like, wow. But that's a conversation that most women don't have, and most men don't have it too. If you feel in some kind of way as a woman, and you don't know how to love yourself enough, and that any man that may approach you or anything like that you're going to feel like, oh, someone's paying me attention. My husband's not paying me attention, so, I have attention over here. That's a personal issue.
Yes.
That's a personal issue. And so that, again, doesn't come down to me making you feel secure. And this is about your own insecurities and how you need to feel secure.
But like we said, there's conversations that need to be had before you decide to marry somebody. Like with T.I. and Tiny, I'm sure they didn't have these particular conversations. And when she said to him, you do what you want to do, and there's a lot of
what's that called? Give them the pass. Like, it's someone that
there's
give
a lot of women that say, as long as you come home, listen, ladies, don't say it if you don't mean it. And they use that loosely sometimes when they're talking to girlfriends or talking to people. As long as he come home. But then when they see that person doing something that they had no business doing, but they came home, you still got a
just
problem.
Just long as you don't bring it to my doorstep. Just long
as you all of that.
Stuff,
if you don't mean that
fine.
stuff, don't say it, because I'm gonna tell you something about men.
Or go out and find it. Go out and get it. But if you ain't get it at home, go out there and find it.
I'll tell you something about men. Men take things literal that you say to them. So if you do not mean it, do not say it. Like when we get mad, you're like, go be with that trick. Go be with that trick. Don't say it if you don't mean it, because it will happen. And when you have a conversation with him and say, why you do that? He'll be like,
and we all the same thing. And men, the same thing. The same thing. If you can find somebody better, go and be with them.
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Y'all know Ronnie's radar truck come on in a minute. I'll be like, what happened?
Especially in an angry moment. Just be careful what you say.
So it's going to bring us into our topic, you guys. We'll be talking about ultimatums as soon as we come back. Once again, you're tuned to the Woman to Woman Show. We'll be right back.
My horse, and I can't let you go. You are the one who makes me feel so real. Yeah. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Oh, what am I supposed to do, baby, when I'm so hooked up on you? Then I realize that
know, the living room is on fire right now with the conversation. Y'all need to be here from behind the scenes.
We had to yell quiet on the set like 20 times. They still on but they trying to keep the chat.
I'm saying, we trying to shout out our sponsors right now: Ace Media Corp,
Movement Magazine,
Cobblestone Media,
Monologue Cocktails,
Hyatt,
in the living room.
and the living room. They get a little heated in the living room, so we said we were gonna come back with our topic about ultimatums, but we had a couple of things going on in the living room where one of our guests said that the difference between men and women is that men are territorial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wanna elaborate on that a little bit?
I only say because men are territorial when it comes to men and women. If you go from animals or to humans, when we have something, even though I say women time to time have double standards, we as men have that double standard. That if I had a harem of women, you can't have one man. I mean, you know, that's just how we are. We're built innate unconsciously that way. I'm just saying the situation with, you know, T.I. and his wife, if you gave him a pass, that's fine. If he didn't give you a pass and he's raising a roof, that woman has the power to diffuse that situation. And I always say, in that situation, she could have went to Floyd. Well, we still be good friends, whatever. I'm gonna tone this down. I'm back and I'm talking to my husband. We take a break. We still be friends, whatever. But she has the control.
Right.
Not T.I., not Floyd.
No,
So,
yeah, we agree.
At the end of the day, I just simply say, that situation is based on her. Why wouldn't she step in? Because she knows her husband, and as a man, we're territorial. We're going out to hunt or look for that situation if we're uncomfortable.
On the same token to know, and I agree with you, on the same token to know, why would she do that? And so again, if this is her attention opportunity to get that from her husband.
It may not.
It may not
She
be.
may unconsciously not know that she did it.
Right, and so that, and now that she does, so the whole reason now that she does know it is to diffuse the situation. And that comes back to communication. We always say is important. But to even have it escalate, because now it's turning into something now, it's outside of her.
Yep.
To have two, you know, and this, I'm not a man, but I know,
Males.
right, I know if I'm saying, if I'm saying as woman to woman, you know, that's, you know, you and I have a relationship, and I say, Trey come to me and say, Ryan, I want you talking to my man, right? I have the power to say, I understand, and I'm gonna back up from that, right? Or I'm gonna turn to that other thing, bossy, because we don't even want to use the other B word.
Yeah.
But
you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah. What you gonna tell me who to talk to?
Better talk to your man.
I'm gonna talk to your man. Like, what you talking about? And so that becomes a conflict between the two of us. So that removes you and your accountability. So now I'm accountable to the person, and I'm assuming they were friends at some point, that it escalated to it changed the dynamics of stuff. And so even in that, it was still the earnest and responsibility between those two men not to let it escalate that way, because it's superseded her. You see what I'm saying? And I understand, you know, men are territorial, you get your testosterone, you get all the other kind of stuff, and so survival of the fittest, the strongest, and all the other stuff. But it still came down to, am I in control? And who's going to control the situation? So whoever swung first, you know, and T.I. got the whole thing too. T.I. got a jacket. You know, we all got a jacket. You know, he ain't trying to mess with my jacket. You know, Floyd, he burning dollars. He burning $100 bills. It's like, they both got jackets. Ain't they both criminals?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, one got more money than the other one.
Yes.
You know, they sit around and go like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't do it outside. You're a professional fighter.
Yeah.
You're a professional fighter. You set that up.
Go on the ring, yeah. Get somebody all weigh about the same amount.
Pay-per-view. We own pay-per-view.
Let me make this point to you. She knows her husband. She knows her husband before that situation got to it. As a man, I'm going to go to my wife and say, look, you talking to such, if you don't calm it down, I'm sure T.I. let her know, I'm uncomfortable with this situation. She could have went in the feud. She didn't. She continued to be in his presence or whatever. I'm coming to you saying, I got a problem.
But maybe in that conversation, maybe in the one that she went to go and have that conversation, was the one that he just wasn't most comfortable with. Because again, I need to be able to have a conversation, and then how was I gonna have it?
Somebody snap a picture in Vegas.
Right.
Like,
we in Vegas. Like, you know, go to Vegas, stay in Vegas. Like, it still was, maybe it didn't move fast enough, maybe it didn't happen the way he wanted it to, but the control and everything else, so
the control still fell on her.
It's still, I'm not taking that away, but it's still, the control of the opportunity to diffuse it, but she's, regardless of the situation, you're still accountable for your own actions.
No problem.
And so, if nothing else, he could have said, if you don't handle it, I got to move away from you because you're about to put me in a situation where it's going to be more detrimental to me. She don't have no jacket.
Okay, speaking of that right there, that was an ultimatum. Either you gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. So we gonna get to our topic about ultimatums.
Ooh, bam.
Yes. So ultimatums. Do you give them? Is it okay for the side piece to give an ultimatum? We had a situation on Facebook where there was a woman who said her husband said it's either me or your children because she had a son that was unruly and get into trouble. So handling a situation, let's start with that one because people think immediately ultimatum is two women. So let's talk about a child, a parent, a mother, or a father having to pick between their children or their mate.
It's so many, even when the topic came up, like we do every week, it, initially it starts off very myopic in the sense
yes, because people think that's what
right, an ultimatum, it could be you dating somebody for a while and okay, we've been together for a minute, you want to marry me or not, and I'm leaving. It could come down to you're in a relationship, your kids and me, and this even with people and their own children. This is not just always
the stepchild
or anything like that. It comes down to your friendships. You all can be in a circle of friends together, and two people get into an argument, and it's like, okay, well, you can't be friends with them no more because you're supposed to be my friend, and you're still friends with them. Jobs, everything. So all relationships are intermingled. But when you talk about children, and it's always blended families are difficult. But in the case that we talked about on Facebook, it was a stepson who was being unruly, and the mother got in trouble for spanking the child, and it turned into they have other children. And so to know that now you have family services involved and everything else. And so the stepfather said, look, he has another parent. Pack him up and send him to his father to protect the rest of the household. And so where other people would say, no, how dare he and all the other kind of stuff. From my view, he wasn't saying it like get rid of him or choose me. He was saying it, we are a household. Collectively, he is putting us all in harm's way. And so I went through a situation very similar to that. I spanked my son, and family services became involved in my house. And it turned into, when I tell you it was like turmoil, because I operated in fear. Pretty much it was always like, oh my God, we're not supposed to be together, I supposed to have a monitor. I said, wait a minute. I done raised my kids and as we always say, if I don't tap him now, y'all may tap him later. And a lot of
it's my house.
And a lot and to know at the same time that at the time my son was taller than I was, heavier than I was, and all that other kind of stuff, that when I had to think about that, the ultimatum was, one, am I going to be in control and never mind what the government says? Because if nothing else, y'all don't want my kids. Because if you wanted my kids, you would have took them when you came to God. And so they're not going to give me an ultimatum in my house. Because then that means that anytime something happens, that they're going to feel as if they can come and rule my house.
And my kids going to think that I have no control.
And so to know that their father, my son's father, actually gave him a phone, and then he was like, "Oh, something happened. I put the police number in there, and I put the diapers work in there." I was like, "What happened?" I said, "Those are mom and your father." I said, "You got a phone?" And those 3 people that's in there, I said, "Call them right now." I said, "Come get you." We went through so much, and his dad would say, "I just want my son." I said, "Why you keep bringing him back? Like you got him every other weekend. Why you keep bringing him back?" And so it was as if he wanted me to operate in that same fear. And the ultimatum, that's all it does, is wants to create some sense of fear. And I can tell you, ladies, men, everybody, when somebody gives you an ultimatum, it's to create some sense of fear. And remember that you're always in control. And nobody can push you to do anything, because that ultimately will lead to disaster. And as I tell you guys all the time, you're the architect of your own destruction. And you don't want somebody to feel as if, well, you married me or else. Who wants that? Okay, I'll marry you. Remember that episode of Martin? Fine, Gina, I will marry you. And she was like, fat female. I was just watching it the other day, y'all. And Gina was like, no. Like, I don't want it like that. But that's what happens. Fine, I'll be with you. Fine, you can stay here. that doesn't elicit any real compassion or what the desire that you're looking for.
Or any solution.
No.
Because it's only going to lead to problems later on in the situation. So
Exactly.
be careful when you start throwing around ultimatums, because you might get something that you really don't want.
No, and if you gotta do it that way or whatever, like, is it really satisfying?
No. Is it really worth it?
No. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about some more ultimatums when we come back. After
So
this.
stay there. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Take a sip for us. We don't have any wine. We're gonna come back with the other one.
I can't hold it in forever. Eventually, I have to breathe. Done hit a lie behind a lie, behind a wall. Now it's crashing in on me. How did I let it get this far? How did I make this wrong turn? How do I change the thing I've done? I don't know. Only one lesson learned. Comes to the light, comes to the light. Everything comes to the light, comes to the light. Comes to the light, comes to the light. Everything comes to the light, comes to the light. I can't pretend this hurts. It hurts deeper than I imagined. What I did to a friend, I'm so sorry. I can't.
Welcome back to the Woman to Woman Show. I'm Trey Kearney. I'm Randy Stinby. And I want to shout out our sponsors, the Movie Magazine,
Ace Media Corp,
Cobblestone Media,
Mona La Cocktails.
and the Hyatt. And of course, we always want to show love to the living room.
Thank you so much.
The Woman to Woman Show is really all about giving back. We just want to give back. We want to help some moms, send some daughters to camp. We thank you for everybody who contributed, made a donation on our page, www.2wshow.com. There's a donation button where you can make a donation to send a girl to camp. Please, it is so important for them to go to camp, get away from home, learn different things about their body, learn about how to cope without their parents. We want to send these girls off to camp, so help us, help them.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had that chance, we've been asked to help 5 girls, it really was 10, and that was about $3,000, and they said, if you can help us send 5 girls, it's $300 for the week, and that includes lodging, that includes
Food,
activities, and
just them having a good time and getting
Right.
away from the pressures of life.
Right, and this is not just about, of course, when you think about disadvantage, it's not just about girls from the ghetto or however you want to perceive that. There are so many families, middle class families, working poor, everybody, and camp is so essential. And to have a week just away from the social norms that you know with
all the electronics and everything. Yes,
right,
it's to get
because it's
away.
camp, it's real camp.
It's real camp. You go
It's real
outside
camp.
and canoe. Ain't no electronics. Ain't no Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, none of that. You just go out there and become one with the earth, and then the girls
There's a lot of team building that's going to go
with each
on.
other.
And,
yes, get to spend time with each other, actually
Yeah.
talk to each other.
And the nice part here is really about developing a cohesiveness that hopefully they'll establish lifelong friendships as well too.
Yes.
Because
I did. I went to camp my whole life. It was so much fun. Camp to come, so whoop whoop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What was your color? What was your color?
We didn't have no colors.
Oh, but I gave you one too. We was the yellow team, as if I couldn't say that. You know, team light skin,
yes,
but
yes.
you go to camp and it happens to be that way. So again, you guys, please go on our website. If you're already watching the show, you're already there. Just click the donation box, no matter what it is, $10,
$5,
$20,
$50. If you want to sponsor the whole thing for the girl, please just donate.
And the other thing too, once you make a donation, don't forget to send your sound bite.
Yes.
We want to be able to include that. You got to just say, and whatever your name is, supported the Woman to Woman show. Bam! That's all you got to say. And we'll play it on our show as well as run it on our website. So again, thank you so much in advance for that. Okay, so the main one that you all know about is
when a man or woman, but this is the Woman to Woman show, so we're going to talk about when women are fighting each other for a man to pick them.
Right. Choose me, choose me.
Okay, first of all, let me say this from experience. And my husband is in the room. If there is a choice, there is a problem. There should not be a choice.
Mm-hmm.
There should be only one person in the equation. So if you're sitting right now and you have a man, or you think you have a man, and there's another girl involved, and you're giving him an ultimatum, you're in the wrong relationship right now. And I'm not saying it will never be the right relationship, but you may need to walk away at this moment till some maturity sets in, till some boundaries are not crossed. And as long as you're giving ultimatums, this will never ever work, because it really was, for my situation, it really wasn't about him, it was about me. It was what I allowed. And it was some things on Facebook this week talking about, you don't know what this man did to me, and you don't know what this man did to me. And I said to a woman, and it helped me.
Mm-hmm.
It came in my mind, I said to her, no, you let him do those things to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing a victim now, and for so long, I did that to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just not in the right frame of mind. I wasn't at a state of maturity where I knew better.
Well, it's still, it was funny because earlier this week, Strawberry Letter on Steve Harvey, and it was a man that was dating a woman and the mother. So the mother he was 35.
I need the little flag on the plate, the little football thing the ref throw. Flag on the plate. Say that again.
The mother had her daughter when she was like 15 or something. And so the mother was 45, the guy was 35, and the daughter was 30. So he'd been dating the daughter for 5 years, and during the same 5 years he was dating the mother. Right? And so the daughter was oblivious to the fact that her mother was dating her boyfriend. So the guy actually called in. The guy called in and he was asking Steve for advice because the mother was giving him the ultimatum to say, I want to be with you, I want to marry you, and so you need to leave my daughter alone. And so Steve Harvey made lighthearted of it, but he said the mother was the dirty one in this. And even though, Shirley wanted him to dig in on the man, and she said no, because the mother made it a choice.
Yes.
The mother made herself one of the options in this whole thing. And so whereas, yes, he shouldn't have opened himself up to it, but the point that the mother put herself into the equation, she became the dirty one in it. I only bring that up because, like you said, you can't blame somebody else if you feel like there's a choice. But one of the things that Steve Harvey said is, if the chooser can't make choices, if there's no choices to be made.
Thank you. If you make yourself an option, that's all you will ever be. You have to have enough self-esteem and self-respect for yourself to remove yourself from a situation as bad as you may want it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when it comes to women, I'm gonna say this for my own self, it was about, why are you not picking me?
Right.
She don't look better than me. She don't have this or she don't have that.
Her butt ain't as big as mine. Or she busted. She all
I'm the upgrade. It shouldn't be about you're in a relationship only to prove to yourself that this person will pick you.
The other thing too, so of course, you know, back to Maya Angelou, she always said that you shouldn't be, I can't remember the quote exactly, excuse me you guys, and I know you know it, that you shouldn't be shouldn't be somebody's choice if you have an option.
If you're the option, yes.
And so, even when it comes back down to that, and just when you say speak on experience and things like that, one of the things that, it took a process for me to do that. Because I know, and as I share with you guys all the time, is that I was in a situation and was in relationship with somebody that was married to somebody else, right? So it was almost comical to me is that he wanted me to be committed to him, but he couldn't commit to me, right? He wasn't available 100% to me, but I had to be 100% available to him. It caused so much conflict, right? But on the same token, the stronger I got in that, the stronger I got, and it was so funny because his last thing that he thought was going to cut me at the jugular was that him and his wife had another baby, right? So I was like, congratulations, you supposed to have children with your baby. Like, we ain't supposed to have kids, right? But
your wife.
Right, and so it was, he would always say to me, give me a reason to leave her. Give me a reason why I shouldn't be with her. I was like, I need to give you a reason. That needs to be finished because it's finished. And so that comes back down to ultimatums. If you're not, even when you have somebody and a man will say to you, I'm only with my wife because we have children. And so then the children get older and it's like, okay, well, why are you with them now? You know, so it's like, okay, you want to leave now? You want to leave now?
No, we got these houses and businesses together.
Right, and so then it's like, okay, well, what you want to do now? What you going to do now? Well, dissolve all of that. And so one of the things that he would use as an excuse with me was, well, she's not trying to let the house go, right? And so I had to say, yo, y'all got a house on Number Street. A real house, and everybody that knows me know how I feel about houses on Number Street. No offense to anybody know what a Number Street. But nobody thought enough to think of the name of the block. You always know what kind of houses they got on the block. But on the same, it was literally like you let something go. You let something go because you never know what's greater for you.
Yes.
And so I had to take my own power and be able to utilize that. And so when Jeff and I started to date, one of the things I said to him was, okay, you know, and he'll tell you 2 weeks after our first date, I said to him, what are your intentions? And so he was like, what? What you talking about? I said, you know, I'm trying to be married. I need a husband. He was like, son, we know each other for 2 weeks. I said, okay. I said, but I'm not talking about like, you know, this is a contract. I need to know what's your intention. He said, I've been married before. I ain't never doing that again. I said, okay. He said, well, what does that mean? I said, then we're gonna be good friends. And he was like, no, I've been married. I'm not trying. I said, okay, but I said I need a husband.
Yes.
And so he's like, well, I need to see you in your face and everything. You know, when that broke bread and everything. And so he still reiterated what it said. And so I said, that's fine. But I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about I need a husband. And so I was willing, if he said that wasn't what he was looking to do, then we weren't going to be together. And so it was funny, I never had the conversation again. About a month later, he started talking about, he was, you know, oh, going to get married. Yeah, I
thought you had wife before. You wasn't doing this no more. We ain't trying to put nobody on blast up in the living room. But
that's the thing too.
Put your hand up right now. We put up.
9 months. 9 months. I was a little nervous when I got it because I was like, yo, did I say that for real? The other side of that too is that we give people options and ultimatums and things that we say, but if they don't adhere to those, so you say you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to decide what you're going to do. 2 weeks come and go, and you ain't did anything different.
That's the problem.
Then nothing happens and nothing changes. So you guys want to come right back.
Talk a little bit about my ultimatums. And side chicks, you have no right to give anybody an ultimatum because you knew your position when you came and started playing it.
Only thing I'm gonna say to that is,
What's up? This is Coco, and you're watching the Woman to Woman show.
This is Ice-T. I'm coming to you live from the Woman to Woman show, Church.
What's going on? It's Mark John Jeffries calling out the Woman to Woman show. Check it out.
Hey, what's up? This Tresh, Naughty by Nature, giving a shout out to the Woman to Women show all day, man. If it wasn't for the ladies, yo, we couldn't do what we do so well. You heard?
Bam.
Hey, listen, ladies, this is Zaim, and you are watching the Woman's to Woman show.
Bam. You're tuned into the Woman to Woman show. Bam!
Ooh, yeah. You came into my life. You just made everything right. And even though my man has left me behind, I don't regret a thing for having you. Thanks for my child, I'm really thanking you, the man above. Thanks for my child, you brought me so much joy, this bundle of love. Thanks for my child, and though your father, he ran away free, the love I have for you, baby, is the love I have in me.
I'm Ronnie B.
We gotta shout out our engineer.
Man, let me tell you.
Tell him.
Let me tell you guys. So y'all know how this all started.
Yes.
So to let you know, we just want to shout out Ty G. We want to shout you out. Thank you so much. Ty G is
the man.
The bam. He goes. He I don't even know where to go. He in the cloud somewhere, y'all.
He ain't even here running this. He ain't even here running this. That's how we do things round. Wait. The Woman to Woman show.
Y'all know I'm Dr. Spot, so I can't do that. I can't do that.
The Woman to Woman show. We got people for that.
But you know what? No matter what happens, though, we still where? Brick City, because I'm the mayor.
We in the bricks, son.
We all the mayor. We all the mayor. Where we at? Studio 58.
Studio 58.
Y'all come on down.
Place.
58 Park Place. Y'all gonna miss it. We got some eye candy tonight at the post-show party. Y'all need to come on down if you ain't made it here yet. Bam. And I ain't gonna, y'all know that's not my thing. Mona Lot can help you out if you need that.
Yes.
Y'all need to have a little party or something. Y'all holler out the Mona Lot.
I got my own private dancer.
Private
dancer.
A dancer for money. But in all honesty, next week's show is the Man and Woman show. We're looking for 10 to 15 men to come join us at the Hyatt in New Brunswick. You guys come on out. We want
give us
you to
all the secrets.
get all the secrets. We want to hear your side of the story.
With no women interrupting, bickering, arguing, which we just going to take your point of view. Me and Ronise will not dispute you. Ronise and I. Before I get in trouble, before the grandma gets me.
Touch the pearl. She's not even
Ronise and I
she'll exchange the words.
will not debate what you say. We will listen and we will take in the information and we will give it to the ladies.
Yes, and they'll be here to tune in and all the questions that you ladies may have, why do men cheat, what keeps a man there, all this other kind of stuff or whatever. We're going to have all the men at the Hyatt come out to the game room. You guys are going to get to smoke a cigar if you feel like and all that kind of stuff. So, but thank you again for tuning in. If you guys have any additional questions, send them over to the Facebook channel. So
we're going to get that way. We're just going to say some final things about ultimatums. Never give an ultimatum if you're not ready for the result and if you're not ready to take action.
And just hold them to it. Play your position. And
side pieces don't get to give ultimatums.
and we're not just talking to the women, because some women got side pieces too. And
side,
it's an oxymoron. A side and a piece. You only get to be a side and a piece. You don't get the whole deal.
You don't get the whole thing.
Stay in your lane.
Play your position.
Oh yes,
Yes. And we want to thank you for tuning into the Woman to Woman show. I'm Trey Kearney.
I'm Ronnie Cindy.
And we want to thank the living room.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
had some women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to When you have two women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. When you have two women sitting in the room together for 60 minutes doing things that will make you do better. Look in the mirror when we come together and tell the truth. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to woman. Sex, trust, lies on us. Yes, sex, trust, lies on us. Woman to When you have two women sitting in the room together